Hey guys, Dusty here. Today I want to give my first impressions and final review on the On Cloudflyer 4. And like always, I'll go over the basic specs on the shoe and then my experience running in it over the first few runs. So the Cloudflyer is actually one of the few models from On Running that I haven't had the chance to run in until recently. And this current Cloudflyer 4 is a road running shoe, and in terms of support, it kind of crosses over from neutral into the mild stability category. Now I'm unsure of the stack height on this shoe, however the heel to toe drop is quite high at 11 millimeters. My men's size 8.5 weighs in at a very hefty 10.95 ounces or 310 grams, making this shoe probably the heaviest road running shoe that I have. In terms of fit, I did go true to size, and I will say that this is a very roomy or high volume shoe. So if you know you're someone who your foot just takes up a lot of space in the shoe, the Cloudflyer 4 will have your back. Your foot sits very low in the shoe. It has plenty of width. It is also available in a wide width, so if you have a really wide foot and On shoes haven't worked for you in the past, likely it'll work in this version. And like almost every On model out there, the Cloudflyer has a very comfy on foot feel. All On shoes have a built-in sock liner. This shoe in particular has a very thick tongue, lots of padding along the heel collar. Now there's a lot going on with this upper. You have lots of welded overlays. You have this pretty interesting lacing system at the bottom. You have this extra thick piece that wraps around the midfoot. You have this big heel clip that adds a little bit of extra stability. And then for myself, at least, in terms of the stability that I feel in this shoe, I'm not a huge fan of how this shoe feels. We'll get to that in a second. But I feel the stability a little bit further back, a little bit closer to my heel. Whereas in other stability shoes, you're gonna feel that support a little bit further down into the midfoot, more so in the arch. And then if we get into the midsole of this shoe, On is going with their classic Cloud pods. They're using their Helion midsole, and I will say the ride of the Cloudflyer 4 is very, very firm. And then if we move along to the outsole, I believe this rubber is going to be very durable through the life of the shoe. You're getting decent amounts of rubber coverage, at least in all the high impact areas. And then again, we are seeing, because it has these classic Cloud pods, you are getting the spaces in between the Cloud pods, which I've only done a few runs in the shoe and I have picked up quite a few rocks. And like On shoes of past, they have this big channel running down the middle, and yep, you're probably gonna get some rocks stuck in there. Not the end of the world, and On is fixing that in some of the other current models. But just keep that in mind that that could be a small issue for you, especially if you're someone who runs a lot of gravel roads. Yep, you're gonna pick up some rocks with this shoe. Okay, now my experience running in it. So this morning actually was the third run that I've done in this shoe. And prior to that, I had done 2 runs, and I told myself that was it. I was just going to do 2 runs, and then I was going to retire the shoe and just rock them as my casual shoes. Well, I did take them out for that 3rd run today, and I will say the shoe felt a little bit better, but I think I'm still probably going to retire this shoe from my current running lineup and just wear them as a casual shoe. So while this shoe is very comfortable, I'm just not a huge fan of the ride. I found it to be very, very firm, which isn't the end of the world, but as many of you know and like, a lot of the shoes coming out on the market now are getting softer and softer. And then quite frankly, I think this is just the wrong shoe for me in terms of support. I don't typically need a stability shoe. And like I mentioned, this is kind of neutral to mild stability, but honestly, I'm just not a fan of where that stability hits me while I'm running in this shoe. I find like that it's just a bit too far back. But I will say, if you have a wide foot, or you have a high volume foot, and you like a firmer ride, I think a Cloudflyer 4 might be a huge hit for you. And another thing I'll mention is the price of the Cloudflyer 4 retails for 170 US or 210 Canadian. And while yes, most On products do come at a premium, I think that price point is maybe a little bit too high for this shoe. But not all is lost. I do like the aesthetics of this shoe, and I'll be rocking them as my casual pair. And like always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.